G'day guys, welcome to Ally on Herbs with Ally Sanchez. I'm your host, Peter Montgomery from thepetermontgomeryshow.com. Ally is a practicing traditional herbalist who works out of her clinic in Glenbrook, which is in the Blue Mountains just outside of Sydney. And Ally is passionate about educating the general public on the uses and the benefits of the common herbs, the type of herbs that you probably have in your garden right now, or you can easily get from the shops. So, Ally, we're having a bit of trouble with Skype today. It's a little bit blurry because of the rain, I think it is. But what have you got for us this week?
Yeah, it is raining, isn't it, Pete? But I tell you what, this rain is great for everybody's herb gardens anyway. Well, today what I thought I'd talk about is one herb that so many people have in their gardens. And not only do they have it in their gardens, they often will find it in a restaurant on their plate, and too many people push it aside at the end of the meal instead of eating it. And that herb is parsley. Parsley is wonderful. It's really high in vitamins. It's high in vitamin C, vitamin A. It's full of bioflavonoids, iron. So it's really nutrient dense, which is great for everybody. So don't push it aside, folks. Eat it. And one of the other things it's great for after a meal is it actually freshens the breath. So part of the tradition of having it on your plate is for that reason, to freshen your breath after you've finished eating. And while I'm talking about eating, parsley is great to balance the digestive system. So any sort of digestive upsets, flatulence, anything like that, parsley is a wonderful, wonderful herb. Parsley is also used for fluid retention. So if you're somebody that can get a bit of fluid retention, maybe around your periods, or not for the guys, obviously, but any problems with fluid retention, parsley tea, just with made up with the leaves. Again, we've spoken about making infusions with leaves. So about a tablespoon of parsley in with a cup of boiling water, and we always cover it for about 10-15 minutes for your infusions, just to allow the medicinal qualities to soak more into your tea and be released by the plant. So, but the important thing with fluid retention is if you're treating it with parsley at home, it's always important to, visit your local friendly herbalist or any other healthcare professional that you trust, because fluid retention can be a sign of something a little bit more sinister. Not always, but can be. So it is good to double check that too. The other thing I was going to talk about parsley, it's got a long, long history with delayed periods. Again, not for the fellas. Well, hopefully not. That's a whole other issue if you've got that going on. But for women who might have delayed periods, parsley, just in the form of a tea, is great just to help to regulate your cycle. And because it stimulates your menstruation, that's a sign that it's not good in pregnancy. Because obviously when you're pregnant, you don't want to be stimulating your uterus in any way. When I say this, I am talking medicinally. So I'm talking in the higher doses. Here at my clinic, I use the tincture here, which is made from the root, and the root of parsley has a higher content of all the chemicals and the medicinal factors that we're using. So I use the root here. You can make a decoction out of the root at home, but the leaves, parsley is one of those wonderful herbs where you can use the leaves, you can use the seeds, and you can use the root. You can use the whole plant. And in some cultures, particularly from the Middle East, they will throw the whole plant, in a stew or something, root and all, which is fabulous. It's great to, add to your regular diet in that way.
So, Ally, how else can you use parsley? Like, what are some other ways that it can be used?
There are lots of ways to get the medicinal benefits from parsley. Like I said before, particularly the Middle Eastern cultures, they use parsley like a salad green, and there's no reason not to. So things like tabbouleh is primarily made from parsley, and it's great. And you only need about 4 tablespoons of the fresh herb daily to start to really experience the benefits. Another way is green smoothies. If you're a fan of green smoothies, throw some parsley in with one of those. And I'm a huge fan, not only of green smoothies, but juicing. Love my juicing. And parsley, again, another easy, simple way to get medicinal benefits from this herb is to put it in your, in your green juice. And like I said, I did say before about the teas. You can make the teas with the leaves and that. So there's a lot. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing about parsley. There's so many ways you can add it into your diet. And if you tend to lean towards, being a bit anemic or even a bit run down with the vitamin C, why not?
And so what about precautions that people might need to take? Is there anything that people should think about before taking parsley?
Like I said before, remember I'm talking medicinally. So don't be paranoid about chewing on the parsley on, your restaurant plate or at home. But when you start using the higher doses, I did mention before pregnancy, we don't want to use it in pregnancy. And also any sort of like kidney inflammation, because it does work with the bladder and stimulating, the fluids around the bladder area. So if there's any kidney inflammation in your health history, you would want to go first to either a herbalist or another health practitioner that you trust before you started using parsley medicinally. Yeah, but other than that, it's quite a safe herb to use.
Okay, Ally, thanks so much. I look forward to catching up with you next week.
Okay, thanks, Pete. I'll see you next week.